I haven't done one of these in a while, so I figured I would do one. Howdy, y'all. Just heading out to do some Christmas shopping. Gonna head up to the outlets up in Gettysburg. So, nice little cruise. Figured it'll be a good, nice little drive to do. And can't remember if I have any dead zones on 496, so I'm gonna take 496. I don't think I have any dead zones on there, so I don't think there should be any interruptions. There might, I don't know. We'll find out together. But anywho, just wanted to, I guess, do a nice little cruise. Kind of a spur of the moment thing. Had a pretty busy little weekend here. We went to medieval times down Arundel Mills on Friday. Yesterday I did some of my Christmas shopping. Today went to a train show, and today I'm going to do some more Christmas shopping. The store I'm going to closes at 6, so I should be up there well before then. Only about 45 minutes up there on a bad day. As you could tell by the thumbnail, driving blue today. Since I bought her 4 years ago. Well, it's going to be 4. Yeah, it'll be 4 years in April, May. That's when my tax expired in May. Should be due for an oil change here soon. Another 500-ish miles, thereabouts. My car, roller skate. I'm not even joking. The one day I pulled up next to one in traffic, my engine bay in the Crown Victoria is the same length as that car. Also gotten some good clips the past couple days. Friday when I came down to Arundel Mills, was just getting off of Route 100. Some jackwagon cuts right as I'm like coming off the spur. Cuts me off. Had to hit the brakes pretty good there. Yesterday I was on my way back from Owings Mills heading towards Westminster on 140. And just past 91, and anyone that's familiar with this area knows that 140 is just horrible, with just both lanes always being clogged and everything. It's the region 140 has been outgrown essentially. It's very rare these days, it feels like, you get on 140 and there's no traffic, and even on the weekends and stuff. And anywho, so I'm in the number 1 lane. You know, traffic's going about 55 miles an hour in both lanes. And but both things are going about 55. Some jack wagon in a white Fusion front with New York plates. She's behind me, changes to the number 2, passes me on the right. Mind you, both lanes are going the same speed. And then she realizes that she can't go anywhere because the right lane's clogged too. So she then cuts right in front of me, probably less than 5 feet from my front bumper, because she needs to make the next left at the next light, which is night, and which is actually a good distance away still. We're still probably like a mile away from the next light. So she just forces her way in, cuts me off. I have to slam. I just lay on the horn. I didn't really have to brake, but I just laid on the horn at that point. And then today on the way back from Timonium from the train show, some idiot on a motorcycle passed the car behind me on a double yellow. As we're going through Butler, just passing the fire station, he passes me on the double yellow. And just as a car starts to come around the corner on the Falls Road there. So that was fun. It's like, dude, if you have mistimed that just that little bit, that would have been a good day for anyone. But, and I saw your comments. I just can't really read them because I'm moving right now. I get stuck in these lights up. If not, when it's safe or whatnot, I'll try to. But I can't really read them while I'm driving. There's the Manchester Sheets. They upgraded that station finally. They now sell E15 and E85, which is nice. Because my Crown Victoria is flex fuel, so when gas prices get stupid, I can fill up there with the E85, and I do see a reduced gas mileage, but with the driving I do these days, I don't really notice that much of a difference. They'll really say like, oh, it's worth it or whatnot like that. So I kind of just use it. When gas prices are lower, like right now, everything's about under $3 again for the most part, except for that station for whatever stupid reason. And I'm not even joking. Literally in Hampstead, not even 4 miles down the road, it's $2.80, $2.90. And Westminster was $2.86 at most places yesterday. But for whatever reason, Manchester's still $3.19. I don't understand it. It is what it is, but yeah. Lights changing. Maybe if this stays red long enough, I can read it. And to answer your question, yes, I do know how to drive stick shift. My mom's car that she bought, a while ago at this point. It's probably been around 2009-ish, I guess. So 15 years, I guess now. She bought a 2002 BMW E46 M3. Convertible top, and that is a 6-speed manual, and that car is fun. Very rarely, because I don't usually drive it that often, and usually when I do drive it, I'm not really going that far usually, because it's usually I just decide to take it because I'm running to Walmart or something, and that car doesn't have a dash cam. most of the time, if I'm taking that car out, and like I said, I'm only going around the corner, so I usually don't throw one in there. But every once in a while, you'll see it pop up in videos. It's the car with the red hood, and she taught my sister and I how to drive stick on that car. That way, if we ever needed to drive it in emergencies, or like in my case, just because I feel like driving it because, you know, it's a nice day out and I want to put the convertible top down, we could drive it. And it's a nice car. I love it. I'm definitely not smooth. I will definitely say that. I am definitely not smooth, but I also don't drive it that often. So usually when I do drive it, I usually drive it like an old man because I can't do fast shifting in it. Because when I do, I just, you know, it's not a good day. So I'm usually the old man going, which is fine. You know, I'm not there to drive that car like a complete and utter madman. But let's take the spur so I get the turn. He's not going to yield probably. Oh, he actually did, which is surprising. Driving directly into the sun. And just FYI, I'm not sure how my cell service is on this road. I don't drive it that often. And took this instead of 482 because I know I have a dead zone on 482. So if it does cut out, I'm not going to end the stream. You just might need to refresh your browser or whatever you're watching this on. I'm not ending it until I get to Gettysburg. So, you know, give it a couple minutes depending on how big the dead zone and stuff is. And like I said, it might come back right away or it might come back automatically, but if it doesn't, just refresh whatever device or wherever the heck you're watching it on. But, I don't drive this road often, but I've actually driven it twice now the past 2 days. I ran up to Hanover yesterday to get some gift cards for some people at work and the store I went to. There's a couple of them around, but I like the Hanover one. They finally made their way out here to the eastern seaboard, which is nice. That's good old Harbor Freight. For the longest time, it's like I've always been watching people's other like mechanics and stuff, and they always talk about Harbor Freight. It's like, oh, Harbor Freight's the best place to get tools. They're expensive, etc., etc., etc. But there weren't any around here. I'm one of those people, especially when I'm buying tools, I gotta lay eyes on it. I want to see how it actually works and how it, if I'm able to hold it, actually hold it and see how it feels in my hand. That way it's like, okay, yes, I want this, or no, I don't want it, type deal. And God, I'm so happy that we finally have a couple around here now. Because I've bought a whole bunch of tools from them for myself. Because I like to try and do some maintenance on my cars myself. I'm not the greatest, but I can be dangerous, as I like to say. And so it's nice being able to go get some nice tools that don't break the bank. Is I'm not a master mechanic. I'm not I don't need that $150 hammer from Snap-on. I just need a hammer. I just need a screwdriver. And so I love the fact that we have a couple around here now, because we have the one up in Hanover, we have one in Cockeysville, and a new one just opened up in, it's kind of the borderline, but it's like the Reisterstown, Franklin area, kind of in between them. I guess it's more Franklin. It's just south of Franklin Boulevard on Reisterstown Road, but I just love that we have a couple of them now, and we've also bought a nice jack from them. It's nice. My dad's a ranger, so he can do oil changes and stuff himself, although, change the tires, do stuff like that himself. I actually just did the front brakes on my Crown Vic myself a couple months ago. Back when I went up to Vermont for the solar eclipse, I got stuck in like 100+ mile traffic jam on the way back. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It was 100+ miles of traffic, and very rarely did we go over 40 miles an hour. We might hit 55 for like a couple miles, and you probably get however many miles going an hour on the interstate. But when I got back, it was time for an oil change, and I've been taking my cars to my mechanic recently, just because it's just easier. Take it to them, they can do their stuff, and they obviously know how to fix things better than I do. Sometimes it's just more convenient, but it's not bad oil or anything like that. It's just more it's just convenient. It doesn't cost that much more than if I did it myself, so might as well just let someone else do it and deal with it. And they got the fancy lift and stuff. They're not crawling on their back getting underneath the car. But yeah, so it's they told me I was going to be needing brakes soon, and at that time, especially because I just went on my trip up to Vermont, and that was a pretty penny, spending gas, the hotel, and everything like that. And I had already gone on a family vacation that year, or this year, so it was just like my cash reserves were a little strapped, so I ended up doing it myself because I knew I could save money, and for like the police and stuff. A lot of places are now putting them on their clearance shelves and stuff. They're trying to get rid of, not that many police agencies have Crown Vics in service anymore. So, they aren't moving those brakes as much as they used to. And so a lot of places, they're just, so I was able to pick up a nice set of pads and rotors for under $100. The only complaint I have about them, which I knew this going into it because they are the semi-metallic pads, is the brake dust, but I can live with that. It just means I have to clean my tire wheels with it. And we're back. Apparently that was a dead zone, but it was not as big as 10482. Anywho, as I was saying, I saved a lot of money on doing that stuff myself. And, it was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I didn't really have any issues. And then when I took, car in for other maintenance and stuff like that, when, my cash reserves, even back out, and things were looking a little better and stuff, took it in for other work, and, it was pretty easy. Yep. Now on Route 97. Fun fact, back in the 1970s, this was actually US Route 140. Back in the late 70s, they decommissioned the US 140 highway designation, and instead of keeping this Maryland 140, because the State Highway Administration actually, it might not have been SHA yet, it might have been just State Roads Commission or something like that, I can't remember, but whoever the organization was known as back then, State Highways, instead of keeping it Route 140, because they named the other portion, they kept that one as 140. It's just Maryland 140 instead of US 140. And instead of keeping this 140, they changed it to 97, and then Maryland 140 went northwest into Tonytown and Emmitsburg and stuff. But the really funny thing is that stretch of 140 was actually 97 back then. So they flip-flopped these two, the northern sections of those roads. They flip-flopped for whatever reason. I don't understand why they did that, but whatever. I guess they had their reasons or whatnot back then. It's just, to me, I think it would have just been easier to keep, this as 140, because it was already 140. People knew it as 140. So why not keep it 140? Especially if you're going to continue to use the 140 designation. Like, I didn't understand that. When I read about that and learned about that, I just thought that was goofy. Up on Union Mills Homestead, if you're ever in this area. It's a pretty neat little place to check out. A little historic mill. Just off to the right, over that direction to the east. It's actually a gun range back there. I just went there a few weeks ago to re-qualify. Because state of Maryland, you gotta do that if you want to keep your permit. Fun stuff. Every other state around here, you just have to go in and pass a background check. Maryland has a training requirement, which, in all honesty, I actually don't mind. I think that's actually a good thing. So I think if you're going to have one, you should know how to use it. But yeah. Coming up one of my favorite named roads in the area. So right up here to the right, you'll see the highway sign right here. There's a road right off to the right here that's called Turkey Foot Road. It is my favorite named road in this area, just because it's, it's just funny. I like it. They've probably paved it because the county's been paving all the dirt roads, but it used to be a dirt road. Well, it wasn't really dirt, it was more gravel, but it wasn't a paved highway like this. But recently Carroll County has been going through and they've been paving all their roads finally. But the thing is that they didn't widen it, so it's still 1.5 cars wide. So it's not big enough for two-way traffic, but they still paved it. And it's just I don't know. I feel like if they were going to pave it, they should have widened it, to make it a safer road to drive in general, because that's how pretty much all the roads up in Baltimore County are. All those roads got widened when they were, surfaced and paved and everything. So I don't understand why Carroll County didn't do it, but probably because it would have been too much or whatnot. But it is what it is. It ain't my money. Well, it is, but it isn't. Because in the whole grand scheme of things, I get in the long run too, when you do think about it, it's like, does that road really need to be widened? Because I mean, it doesn't really see much traffic. So does it? You know, that type of deal. So right up here on the left, there's a cow farm, and I remember the one time I was coming back from Gettysburg from just, going up there, drive around the battlefields and stuff, because that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love this area, is all the history that's around here. Because, I mean, we have Gettysburg that's, 45, not even, about 45 minutes away. We have Antietam, which is, about an hour away. All the historical sites down Baltimore and stuff, that's about an hour away. About an hour and a half, 2 hours is DC. It's got all these historical stuff around here. So I always love checking out those kind of things. But anywho, I was coming back from Gettysburg the one day, and these two people decided, instead of pulling off where there is a shoulder where they could actually get out of the travel lane and stuff like that, they stopped in the active lane of travel back there so they could get out of the car and get pictures of the cows that were, hanging out by the fence line. And making everyone that's coming around the corner slam on their brakes. Because, this is a 50-mile-an-hour stretch of highway. So, that was one of those, you really couldn't have picked a better spot to stop. About to cross into Pennsylvania, just around this next corner. See if you guys can figure out where the state line is. It's very blatant, although it might be different. But I haven't been up this way in a while. So this stretch of road was actually shut down for a while because they were rebuilding a bridge. So you had to take a little detour and stuff like that. And I pretty much just avoided coming up here. If I needed to go up to Gettysburg, I actually went all the way north and then Hanover up to US 30 and then over. It was just easier for me to do it that way. Because at that to US 30, I would take 196 over, and it was just it's just easier to just go up to 30 and cut over that way. And it looks like they must have actually resurfaced this when they redid that bridge. But we're in Pennsylvania now. Why are we braking? BMW behind me just passed a car on the double yellow because he couldn't be bothered to hit the brakes. Because another car turned off onto that same road that Civic turned onto. And I guess, the BMW can't be bothered to hit the brakes to slow down. God forbid. Keeps turning on its blinker too. Coming to Littlestown now. Quaint little town. It's little. Sorry. A couple of the people I work with live up here. Yes, I do know US 22. I drive it actually frequently. My grandmother, well, I shouldn't say frequently. I really haven't been on it much since she moved to Clinton. But my grandmother used to live in, oh shoot, what's the name of the town? It's north. It was that northeast-ish of Washington. Begins with an H. I'm drawing Hackettstown. She lived in Hackettstown, and so we used to take 22 all the time when we were going up there, because we would actually get off on the Pennsylvania side. We would usually get off 78. We would take PA 33 over to 22, and then take 22 across into Jersey, and take that. I forget what New Jersey highway we would take from there, but we would pick up a state highway, and that would take us all the way up into Hackettstown. We would go through Washington up, and then all that other good stuff. But then she ended up moving in with my aunt before she passed, and in Clinton, so we really haven't driven that section in years. The one time I did it just to do it, because at the time, and we had gone off, and forget why we got off, but we got off at that exit right there before Pennsylvania, and my sister and I decided, like, hey, shoot, let's take 22. We haven't taken it in a long time, so we took that through Easton. But so yeah, I'm a little familiar with 22. Yeah, I know I haven't been live in quite a while. It sucks as you get older, the less free time you have. I'm actually working on finally catching up on editing and stuff too, and finally sat down and started editing the other night. I was gonna, after I'm done doing this little Christmas shopping, I was gonna continue editing that, hopefully get that done today. If not, it probably won't be done until Tuesday. But I finally sat down and set off to the side time, specific to edit. Sit down and try and push some content out, because I know I've fallen way behind on that stuff, and I'm hoping once I get myself out of this little backlog and get back into a nice groove of things again, I'll have more free time to do fun stuff, go out and do those time-lapse videos of different roads and stuff like that. It's I've done this one before. I've done 97 all the way from where it starts just outside of DC in Silver Spring, and I drove it all the way north up here to Gettysburg. Made that video the one time, and things like that. limit. Can't remember if there's any good passing zones up here. Nope, now they're starting to speed up. There we go. Now we're at the speed limit. I'm happy now. I'm content with that. Since I do have time before that store closes, when I get up in the Gettysburg, I'm thinking maybe I'll go, instead of turning off into the outlets like I was going to originally do, I think I'll go up into the actual town, and I'll go up to the circle, go through the circle, come back south, and I'll end the stream at in the outlets like I originally planned. Just because I got the time, you know. It's always fun to drive through Gettysburg. There's a lot of history up here, including on my family side, on my mom's side. She's the one from Jersey, and her 3 greats, my 4 greats grandfather, he actually fought for the Union in the New York 54th, I think it was. Yeah, I think it's the New York 54th Infantry, I think. If I'm not getting my numbers mixed up. He actually, when he enlisted, he lied about his age. He was only about 14, 15 years old, but he said he was 18. Joined the service. His unit made him the drummer boy, and he was actually here at Gettysburg during the battle. After Gettysburg, his unit, he ended up down at Appomattox Courthouse. He was down there when Lee surrendered. His unit was, anyway. He wasn't like in the room or anything like that, but at least to our knowledge he wasn't, but most likely not. But he was down there where Lee surrendered to the Army of the Potomac. And so it's cool to have that history, you know, up there. And then when he got out of the service, he actually became a cop in Hoboken, New Jersey. Worked as a cop there until 1919, retired, and then got a job at the U.S. Postal Service and worked as a clerk up until his death in 1933. History there. We actually still have his revolver from when he worked for Hoboken. That school bus got destroyed. What the fuck? The whole freaking roof was like caved in and the front's all smashed up. Like, what the hell happened to that bus? It's funny, my first car was actually a Pontiac Aztec. So my mom actually bought one back in 2000 when they first came out. 2000 model year. They came out in like October, November of 2000, and she was one of the first people to buy one. Had it up until, I got my learner's permit. When I got my learner's permit, they gave it to me. As I continued to drive and stuff, I've racked up the miles over the time and stuff like that. It started, the car was worn out. It was over 20 years old at that point. I put a lot of miles on it myself, not including the mileage my mom put on it. And eventually we ended up, I knew I needed my own car, and my parents had told me that they were gonna buy me one because they had bought my sister one and stuff like that. But it was one of those, like, the one day I was meeting my mom one day at work, I saw where the agency she worked at, where they parked cars that they were taking out of service. They had a couple that were parked over there of Crown Victorias. I was like, oh snap, I've always wanted one because I love those cars. I grew up, in the back seat of them for years because that's what Baltimore County had when my parents worked there, and saw that the auction was actually about to end because it was an online auction. I put a bid on the one car, ended up winning it for just under $2,100. It was like $2,076, and 5 years later I still have the car. And it runs and drives great. Fires right up every time I get in it. I'm actually planning, since I've had it for 5 years, it's probably due, all the fluids are probably due to be changed except for transmission, because I did that last year. Because I tried switching out some parts. That is a weird thing it was doing, but so I probably will do a coolant change. I'm already planning doing spark plugs and coil packs because those aren't that expensive. Fresh oil, do an oil change. What else? Check the brake fluid and stuff like that. See if the brake fluid needs to be done. All that kind of good stuff. I have a whole bunch of gift cards. I'm assuming I'm probably going to get more this year that I've yet to use. Yeah, and the Aztec I'm driving right now is actually my second one. So probably because I wasn't putting as many miles as I was on my old Aztec, it actually ended up living longer than I expected it to. And one day, I noticed the rust on this was starting to get a lot worse, and it was probably time to really consider sending it off or whatnot. And originally I was actually planning on being a logical person and look for a decent used car, maybe even buy new if I could find something affordable, whatnot. And then my dumbass went on to Facebook Marketplace, typed in Pontiac Aztec just to see what popped up, and Blue here popped up down in Richmond, Virginia for $3,000. She had less than 100,000 miles on it. I was like, holy shit. And next thing I knew, I was taking the train down to Richmond so I could go buy this. And then I drove it back. And the beautiful thing about this thing, I was able to put historic tags on it. And as you can tell, we are now officially in Gettysburg. And we're now stuck behind one of those horse carriage things. It's actually really nice out today. It's 55 degrees up here. I think he's letting us pass people. Take the opportunity. Beautiful horses. We actually went as I said earlier, we went the medieval times on Friday, which was cool. Oh, apparently they have some tour festival going on. I guess I won't be going up to the circle. Whoops. How about that? I guess I'll be turning around here. Yeah, let's try and go through the circle anyway. I doubt the circle's going to be closed because that's the main intersection, but I won't outroll it. I got the time. The store doesn't close until 6. Looks like it's open. I'm seeing traffic driving through there. So we'll run up there, cut over, and then all the other good stuff. My aunt had one of those. She had a 2000 Cavalier 4-door. She got the base of the base. The only upgrade she got was the CD player. It had manual locks, manual windows. That car she had for a long time, and I was actually contemplating whether or not to keep it because my sister, she got it from my aunt. My aunt gifted it to her. And she, this is weird. Okay, so it's open but not open. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess I'll turn left out of this because, yeah, we'll find my way back over to, whatever street that is, High Street or whatnot. But, apparently they had some sort of festival or something today. Who knew? But yeah, it was a pretty good car. We had it for It just turned over 200,000 miles. My aunt gifted it to my sister. My sister drove it for like 2 days and then it died and wouldn't start. It would try to start, but it wouldn't start. And instead of trying to fix it, my parents were sort of like, "We'll just buy you a car," and junked it. Bought the Jeep from my other aunt for my sister, and then my sister is the only person I know of that couldn't drive a Jeep in the winter, so they ended up trading the Jeep in, bought my sister a Honda Accord, and that Accord was good. I don't know what the heck my sister was doing to it, but it would have this weird glitch or something, and it like never happened to anyone else. So I don't know the story behind like what was going on with that thing. And so we ended up getting it replaced or whatnot. And that's when she traded it in and bought her Mazda that she's had since. But then car-wise for me, yeah, I've had this Aztec. I bought a second to me, new to me Aztec. Turn left down here. I'll find a way back over to the other street. I think I can turn here, go down Railroad. Just don't turn onto the tracks. Well, idiots will do that. This wasn't marked one way, but it feels like it should be a one way. Okay, I think it is a one way because that looks like a do not enter sign there. But it's not like posted with one way signs. So like back there, because of that, people could easily get hit or something. And I can turn. And we'll just take this back the other way. Back past where the road closure and stuff is, and then, so I need to go down, what was it, High Street, I think it is. Yeah. Pretty much until I bought this car, every single car I've owned had over 100,000 miles when I got it. Because my Crown Victoria had 101,000 miles when I bought it. My first Aztec had 150-ish thousand miles on it when my parents gave it to me. And then this one had 98,000 miles on it, so it was only under 100,000 for a very short time. It very quickly went over 100,000. But yeah, every car I've ever had has pretty much had 100,000. And to me, it's like I really don't look at mileage as like oh, my car has too many miles on it, I gotta get rid of it. Because ultimately, to me, it's depending on how you treat and how you maintain your car. If you maintain it well, you don't beat on it, slamming the gas every time, you want to go somewhere or try to do something, that type of stuff. If you aren't doing that, cars will last you for years. Like the Crown Victoria, for instance. That 4.6 V8 that are in those things will go forever if you maintain them and you don't beat on them. Even when you beat on them, they just keep going. As long as you add oil to them, because they do burn oil. That's one of the things that those engines will do. As long as you keep the oil filled and do regular service and stuff like that on those cars, they will last you forever. You'll have to worry about rust before you have to worry about the powertrain failing. Probably in the powertrain, the weakest thing is the transmission. But even then, most of the time you can get over 100,000 miles on it. As far as I'm aware, this car still, my Crown Vic still has the original transmission, and it's still going. It does have problems, I will say this, because when I'm in like stop and go traffic, it sometimes like gets stuck in gears. It feels like it doesn't want to change. But other than that, I've had no problems with it. So it's like, you know, I don't know what the, you know, it's just, as long as you take care of your stuff, it'll last you forever. Unfortunately, when you buy used cars, though, you don't know the car's history. Because, I mean, yeah, you can pull a Carfax report, but unless if something was reported, you know, you won't know the whole, you know, you won't know about it. Because, like, with this car, it had a clean Carfax report. However, a year after I bought it, I ended up having to dump $3,000 into it because the top end of the motor was bad and I had to get new valves put in. So the top end of the engine got rebuilt. So that was fun. That was an unexpected thing. And then last year I had to put a transmission in this. Yeah, that's how your first car should kind of be. It should kind of be a POS. Give you that thankfulness when you do get a nice car later in life. It's one of the reasons why, like, with my cars, I'm so, like, just relaxed with it, because I know people that sit there and they'll complain about anything and everything, because, like, I know a couple people at work that have new cars at work, and I swear it feels like they try to find every small little thing that's wrong with the car and will complain about it. Meanwhile, I'm here driving, you know, 20 and 15 year old cars to work every day, making life work, and they're sitting there complaining about the car they did not pay for. And it's just like, shut up, man. But I want to trade these cars in for anything, because I've pretty much, after getting the transmission fixed in this, the top end of the engine rebuilt and stuff, this car has been actually pretty reliable. The same with my Crown Vic. My Crown Vic has been excellent. I've not had really any problems with that thing. And anything that has broken, that did break on the Crown Vic, it's been cheap. You know, that's kind of why I'm just thinking about doing some preventative maintenance and stuff when I do my spark plugs. Just get some new coil packs and stuff. Because since I've owned it, I've had to replace 2. So the rest of them are at least 5 years old, if not older. So I'm figuring, you know, get some new plugs, get a nice set of plugs, a nice set of coil packs, and you know, that should clean that up nicely, and all the other good stuff with that car. And the best part is about owning the old cars like I do, I own all my cars outright, so I don't have to worry about some, you know, not making a payment and the bank showing up to take my car away. And for the 3 cars I own, because I still own that, I still have that other Aztec, even though it's not in service anymore, even though she's currently put away in storage. You know, I own 3 cars, and I've paid less than $6,000 for all 3 of them. Because my first Aztec was a gift. My Crown Vic I bought for $2,100, and I bought this for $3,000. Actually, it might have been 35. I think it was 35. Yeah, that sounds better. It's $3,500 for this. Because originally this thing was listed. My original Aztec, before it got parked, it had 273,000 miles on it. So that thing, so you know, this Aztec here isn't even broken in. It's only at 118,000. My Crown Vic just turned over 146. So, you know, that car still had a lot of life left in that one too. And the nice thing about the Crown Vic too, I've actually done some upgrades myself and stuff. I put in a new sound system. It uses the factory wiring, but I put in some upgraded speakers. I put in a new head unit, and the new head unit has you know, Bluetooth, has a CD player. Because my original radio, my Crown Toria, it was just, you know, the basic police package. That was it. So if I wanted to anything other than the radio, I was out of luck. So I bought one of those Bluetooth receivers. But after a while, the radio started getting funky. With the volume knob, like, developed its own, like, it just would crank max volume on its own, drop to nothing. You know, it was getting a little finicky there. So I ended up just going out and buying my own stuff, and you know, I put all that stuff in myself. Saved me quite a bit of money, and I love it. I'm contemplating whether or not to replace the or get a updated radio for this car. The reason why I said I'm debating it, because the way that the Aztec works, that the door chimes and stuff are played through the radio. That's what comes up. That's where the door chimes come from. And so if you replace the radio with a, you know, aftermarket unit, unless if you buy the extra chime thing, you lose your chimes. Which I know some people are like, oh, there's no loss there, but I like having them. They're a nice little thing to have, because they do tell you when there's something wrong. Because they aren't there, because they don't just tell you if the, you know, doors are open. They also tell you about, they warn you about your seatbelt, you know, headlights, you know, something seriously is going wrong, like, you know, you lose oil pressure or something like that. Like, they warn you about more than just, oh, your door's not open. Or your door's open, I should say. But yeah, so to me, it's so I'm trying to debate that. Although I have found a factory old stock radio unit, and I keep meaning to call my mechanic to see if they have the ability to program it, because they supposedly need a Tech 2 whatchamacallit, which is GM's old OBD2 scanner / reader that they made themselves. And if you get that radio, I need it programmed so this car's security system works. Because if you don't get a program, your car can actually genuinely not want to start, because your security system will kick in and be like, something's wrong. Because when you go to start the car up, essentially what happens is that your ECM, your radio, all the other modules will send signals to each other verifying their serial numbers or the VIN numbers and stuff. And if any of them detect that something's not awry, you know, it can actually prevent your car from starting, and then you're stuck wherever the hell you're stuck at. What's this store? I feel like I've gone past it. that beef jerky thing is still here. Alright, yeah, I've definitely gone past it. I need to loop back around. Otherwise, oh, nope, there it is. It's right there. Okay. I just need to find a parking place now. It's handicapped, so I can't park there. Oh, the sun is bright. Perfect. I'll take that guy's spot. Actually, is that handicapped? That might be handicapped. Nope, it's not. It's the spot next to it. So, alrighty. Well, I guess I'm going to end the stream here in a second. Is there anything else on here? You all know, it's the crazy thing. I actually like that chime. I like it better than the musical ones that they have nowadays. I actually like the ding, 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 ding. This car does it, and my Crown Vic does it. In fact, I'll do this. Oh, of course it does it there. So why would it? But yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess I'm gonna end the stream here. They've updated stuff. I guess I click it up here now. So, alright, well, it was nice chatting with all y'all, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.